Greetings and welcome to this next installment of Bible Topics that make you say, hmm. I'm Robin Sweet Ransom. All right, I have something pretty salacious for you all. I was thinking, why am I talking about these topics? Well, it's in the Bible. And my desire is to bring to light stories that you may not be aware of and to make the Bible interesting for you and also to help you to appreciate the wickedness that we're dealing with today is nothing new. It existed way back in Bible times. At the same time, we can learn from it and see what the outcomes were for decisions that were made. With that, let's go ahead and get into why did Lot's daughters rape him? What? Lot's daughters didn't rape him. Or who is Lot? Some of you may be going back and forth between those two questions. Well, let's get into the story because some people may challenge me on that and say Lot's daughters did not rape him. So Genesis chapter 19, verses 30 through 34. So where we're picking up now is after Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. Remember, the angels told Lot and his family to leave. The wife, she turned into a pillar of salt because she turned and looked back, but Lot and his daughters escaped. Lot's daughters were engaged to two men who laughed at Lot when he told them, look, this town is going to be destroyed. You need to come with us. So they were destroyed. So Lot departed from Zoar and lived in the mountains along with his two daughters because he was afraid to live in Zoar. Instead, he and his two daughters lived in a cave. Then the firstborn said to the younger, our father is old, and there is no man in the land to sleep with us, as is the custom of all the land. Come, let's get our father to drink wine so that we can sleep with him and preserve our father's line. Ew. I mean, does anyone else think that is like, yuck? Why would you even think that? So you're going to get your father drunk and sleep with him and hope that you get pregnant. And if you don't get pregnant on the first time, are you going to keep going at it, going at it, and going at it until you get pregnant? It's just disgusting to me. But this is what the daughter thought. She felt like, our father's lineage is going to die. So we need to keep our father's lineage alive. So we need to sleep with him. Now, if you think this is twisted logic, think back to what Lot did. He offered up his daughters to those beastly homosexuals, and he said, do with them what you want, but just don't touch these angels. So the whole moral thing is a little bit off. I don't know, maybe they feel like they're also going to get him back and do something to him that he was going to allow to be done to them. I don't know, just something that just popped up in my mind just now. Verse 33. So they got their father to drink wine that night, i.e., translation, they got him drunk, and the firstborn came and slept with her father. He did not know when she lay down or when she got up. So he was really wiped out drunk. And then my question is, how was he even able to perform? I asked my husband about that, and he said he doesn't know because he's sometimes men can't perform when they're drunk, but then others do. So whatever. But if he didn't know that they were there, that just messes with my head. And he was old. That's just a lot going on there. Anyway, verse 34. The next day, the firstborn said to the younger, look, I slept with our father last night. Let's get him drunk again. And now you go sleep with him to preserve our father's line. That night, they again got their father to drink wine, and the younger went and slept with him. He did not know when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. How That's just crazy to me. Most people don't get pregnant the first time, I don't think, especially by an old man. The firstborn gave birth to a son and named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites of today. The younger also gave birth to a son, and she named him Benami. He is the father of the Ammonites today. And then I wonder, once these girls got pregnant, because they probably didn't tell the man that they slept with him, that they raped him, because to me that's rape. He was blacked out drunk. What is it to you? They're popping up pregnant. Who does he think got them pregnant? At what point did they say, okay, dad, this is your child and your grandchild, and our kids are brother and sister and cousins? Whew, I was telling my sister that the Bible can be X-rated, right? So again, my purpose in sharing stories with you is to make the Bible interesting so you can crack open the Bible and find out for yourself all that God has in store for you, besides the sort of stuff, but finding out what God has in store for you. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 3 and 4. So you may be wondering, how did God feel about all of this? Because this is crazy, right? But it was before the law. So there was no Mosaic law to say, you know, someone doing something like this should be put to death. Well, verse 3, it says, and Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter the assembly of the Lord, even to the 10th generation. None of his descendants shall enter the assembly of the Lord forever, because they did not meet you with bread and water on the road when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired against you Balaam, the son of Beor from Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse you. So fast forward, Lot's daughters, whose names we don't know, gave birth to these two boys who later became nations. And those nations were opposed to Israel. In fact, when the Jews were fleeing Egypt, they weren't there to help them, even though they were related. And so God did not look with favor on the descendants of this disgusting ancestral relationship. In fact, the Moabites and the Ammonites were pagan. They didn't believe in Yahweh. So let's move forward and talk about desperate decisions equaling negative consequences. So backing up, Lot's desire for wealth, comfort, and prominence is what led him to live in Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham gave him a choice. He said, look, there's too many of us living in one place together. Go wherever you want to go. And Lot chose to go to a wealthy place where there was a lot of land for his animals and so forth. And so he went to a very wicked place, and it began to affect him and his family. While there, they were kidnapped. And so Abraham had to save them, because Sodom and Gomorrah, they got into a war with other nations. And so they were kidnapped and plundered and so forth. But nevertheless, Lot was still seen as righteous, as 2 Peter 2:8 says. And the story about the kidnapping, you see that's in Genesis 14:11 through 16. And then because of the immorality in Sodom and Gomorrah, that twisted their own morals as well, Lot's family's morals. Not even 10 righteous people could be found in Sodom and Gomorrah, which was why it was destroyed. Because remember, Abraham was bargaining with God to not kill everybody in the town. And God said he wouldn't kill everybody if there was at least 10 people, and there weren't. Turns out it was just Lot and his two daughters. Lot's daughters, you can say, also displayed a lack of faith, and their consciences were seared. Instead of them having faith that God would provide and make a way for them to still preserve the family line without them doing this grotesque thing, they did it anyway. But I was just reading something that said perhaps they thought they were the last people on earth, or at least in that area, and they felt like they didn't have a choice. What do you think? Now let's bring it to us. What about us? Are we being influenced by this world? We know that they were influenced. Their decision making was not the best. Can our decision making not be the best? So I encourage you not to just look at this story as something that happened in the past, but look at this story to see if sometimes desperation leads you to make decisions that can lead to dire consequences. Take your decisions to God in prayer. James 1:5 says, as any of you lacks wisdom, just ask God, who gives generously to all without fault, and it will be given to you. All right, that's it for this installment of Bible Topics That Make You Say, hmm. Join me next time, and I've got another topic, and this one is the wicked prince who raped his sister, Tamar. See you then. And I promise after there's no more rape stories, I have others for you.